Is episode number 4 of the Traders Podcast here at Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading. I am your host, Jeremy Ritz, excited to be doing episode number 4 with all of you. We are rolling along momentum in 2024. I hope that you are having a great start to your new year, a great start to your month, and it's hard to believe we're almost through it. I'm recording this episode on January 23rd. And we're 8 days away from the end of the month. And it's a point in time where people start to lose momentum with their 2024 goals. And hopefully you're not falling into that category. And hopefully this could be a message to you that, hey, get refocused, get back on it, get back after it, and pursue whatever it is that you were seeking to accomplish here in 2024, because you still have 11 months and 8 days to do it. So you can make that happen. But anyway, this is the Traders Podcast where we talk all things trading. And today's topic is going to be, why are so many people afraid of the markets? Why are people afraid to trade? Why are people afraid to invest? Or like my particular situation, when I tell somebody that I'm a day trader or I trade the stock market, they look at me like, yeah, okay, you're full of shit. It's a scam. So we're going to get into all of those reasons why people fear the markets, and why that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that creates opportunity for you. It's created opportunity for me. And really, it's just a myth that keeps people from participating in something that is so powerful and can change your financial life. So we're going to get into all that in today's episode number 4. But before I do that, just want to remind everybody of the first ever Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading Bootcamp. This is for beginners. I'm going to teach the fundamentals and essentials of trading and investing starting next week on Monday, January 29th through February 2nd. That's a Friday. These sessions will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a virtual event. It'll be live. In order to have access to the videos, because I will be recording the sessions, you do have to register. So please make sure that you sign up. This is life-changing information that I'm going to be sharing with everyone. And the best part of it all, it's 100% for free. So check that out. It is linked in the show notes for this episode. And I hope to see you there next week. I'm very excited to kick that off. But today's topic, oh my gosh, trading, you're going to lose all your money. It's a scam. It's terrible. Stay away from it. Bullshit. It's bullshit, right? So I made a list here. You know, what are some of the reasons why people are afraid of trading, of investing? And I'm going to go through, mention a lot of people think that trading is a scam, that you can't make money in it, that it's rigged, it's set up to benefit the elite, the wealthy people. Not true. There's another belief out there that you have to be this super smart genius Ivy Leaguer who graduated from some prestigious university, who is a whiz kid at math. That's not true. We'll talk about why that's not true. If you trade, you're going to risk all your money and lose all your money. That's not true. But if you're an idiot and you're undisciplined, then yeah, you are going to lose your money. Really, the other excuse or belief too is people don't think that this is something that they can do. They feel that they need to have an employer, somebody to work for, that they could never be self-sufficient on their own. They could never generate the profit that they're making in terms of monthly income through the markets. And I'm a living example that in fact is false. It's true. You can do it. Now you have to work at it. It's not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to just sit down with the candlestick chart and start crushing it and be the Wolf of Wall Street. It takes time. But let's go through some of these myths, these fears surrounding the market. And let's start by this whole concept that the market is a scam. Okay. And the reason why that comes into play is because you'll see a lot of horror stories out there where people are saying, hey, buy this stock, or hey, invest your money here. And people are doing this without having the knowledge and understanding of what is actually happening or taking place. So it's like getting behind the wheel of a vehicle and driving it without knowing what the hell you're doing. We all remember when we learned how to drive, It's the same thing. If you don't know how to read a candlestick chart and you don't understand how the market works, then you shouldn't be giving somebody your money to invest or trade for you, because that's just setting yourself up for failure. And there's a lot of organizations, people out there, scammers who say, hey, look at this stock, it's going to go up 1,000%. And you're going to put your money in that and you're going to lose it. And the market is not a scam. It's something that you have to develop a skill at. It's something that you have to work at, to improve, to learn, to become effective in terms of trading and investing. It's just like anything else. It's not something that you just do and you're good at immediately. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about trading and investing. You have to work at it just like any other type of skill, whether it's learning a language, getting better at a sport, getting better at an instrument, learning your job. You have to invest the time in to understand how the market works, to know how to trade, to know strategies, to know how to protect yourself against risk, so that if you are going to lose, you lose small, and that when you're winning, you're maximizing your winners. So the whole scam piece comes from thinking that you can get rich quick in the markets. That's true. You can if you're lucky, but the opposite of that is true. You can lose everything in a moment. But that comes down to just being foolish and careless and gambling. A lot of people think that trading is gambling, that you're just throwing your money out there and you're taking a risk and you're putting it all on the line. That's not true either, because any intelligent, smart, prudent trader and investor always protects their risk going into any trade, into any investment. And they have safeguards in place to ensure that, let's say that the trade does not work out in their favor, there are mechanisms in place. They're called stop losses, that you can automate, that even if you're not sitting in front of your computer, you're protected, because if that stock pulls back to that price where you set your stop loss, you're not going to lose any more money than you determined at the outset that you were comfortable with losing. And so I hear a lot of people saying, oh, you're going to lose all your money. Well, yeah, again, if you're an idiot and you're undisciplined, you are going to lose all your money. But if you're smart, intelligent, and you protect yourself, you're not crazy risky, you're not gambling, you're going to be fine. Um, some of the other parts here, I often hear that, oh, I'm not smart enough to trade the markets. I'm terrible at math. It only takes second grade math to be able to trade, and pattern recognition. Those are the two primary skills that you need. And a lot of times I'll hear people say, oh, well, I didn't go to a great college, or I didn't go to college at all. That does not matter. It doesn't matter. And there's this illusion or myth that unless you're part of this elite group, you can't have access to the power of the markets. It's nonsense. It's second grade math. If you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you're going to be just fine, because that's all the math that I'm using on a daily basis in my trades and in my long-term investments. Now, you can make this as complex as you want. You can get into some more advanced mathematics with your trading, especially when you get into options, but it's not a requirement. So if that's something that's been holding you back from getting involved in trading, I'm here to tell you that's absolutely not true. If you understand and have a mastery of second grade math, you're good. If you don't, yeah, trading's not going to be for you if you can't, if you don't have a handle on second grade math. So then I wouldn't even pursue it. But the other part too is thinking that the markets are something reserved for this elite group, that you had to grow up wealthy, or that you have to be part of a family who had millions and millions of dollars in stocks, that you have to be associated with wealth. I'm here to tell you that is not my background at all. I do not come from a wealthy family. I don't. I come from a group of hardworking individuals, coal miners, farmers, the backwoods of Western PA, and growing up broke. When I was younger, where I lived, my my home when I went to school, behind our house was an abandoned coal mine. And we would go back there and we would play. We'd run around on it in an abandoned coal mine. And think about that for a second. I have three children now. There's no way I'm letting my kids run around an abandoned coal mine, but man, it was so much fun. Across the street from me was an abandoned school. So I had my choice of abandoned places to play. But I say this because I'm not from wealth. I didn't grow up in a family where we talked about stocks or we talked about wealth or we talked about trading or we talked about investing. And I learned this on my own. And so if I could do this, there is no question that you can do it. And ultimately what it comes down to, all these fears of the market, that you're going to lose all your money, that the market's going to crash, blah 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 blah. What it comes down to, and this is the 100% truth. And I'll tell you this, not everybody can be successful at trading because if you are not disciplined, if you are not a hard worker, if you are not able to control your emotions, you cannot succeed in this business. You can't, because you have to have the discipline to follow your trade setups and stick with it whenever it goes against you, because that's going to happen. And one of the things with trading is you're going to lose. It's part of the process, but for every loser that you have, you're going to have a winner. And that's part of growing and developing in your trading, is knowing how to minimize your losers and maximize your winners. But there's mental resiliency that needs to be in play when you're working to become a trader. And if you don't have the mentality to, I always say, get punched dead in the face and get back up and get punched in the face again, this is not for you, because you're going to lose. You can't win every trade, and you're not going to. So you definitely need to have that resiliency, the ability to push through adversity, and the discipline to stick to your plan. You also have to be a hard worker, right? You're not just going to jump into this, click buttons, and think, all right, I'm making millions and millions of dollars, Lamborghinis, martinis, bikinis. Sometimes you'll hear out there associated with traders. It doesn't work like that. And that's where a lot of people fail, is they think they're going to come in and within 1 to 2 months, they're crushing it. They're knocking out $1,000 trades, $10,000 trades, 20,000. It doesn't work like that. Now, maybe for some people out there who have just some savant skill, maybe, but you need to be gradual and patient with this thing. And what do you have to lose? And I often say this to people who are ready to give up. What's the difference between having it now, and that's the skill to effectively trade, or 1 year from now? Would you rather, if you can't have it now, but you could have it 1 year from now, are you just going to give up and let it go? Because if you continue to work, you will get to that point to where you can trade successfully. And it's just like anything else. You have to put the time in. You have to study. You have to practice. And you bottom line, you have to be a hard worker. If that defines you and describes you, then maybe you are made for trading. You have to have that never say die, hard work ethic, willingness to just continue to push and push and push. And, I tell the story that when I was a principal, I would get up at 4 a.m. and I would study charts. I would study trading before I'd go into work. When I come home and my kids would go to bed, I would study and I would practice. That's what it takes. And even now, it just so happens to be something I love and I'm passionate about. But even now, I'm still studying. I'm always learning about the markets because of what it's brought to my family. And I want to share that with everyone. And the last piece, if you're going to trade, the characteristic that you need is emotional discipline. Because here's why. You're going to be in trades sometimes that are running in your favor and they look like they're going to continue running to the moon. And you're going to have this feeling, I should have let it run. I'm not going to take my profit. I'm not going to cash out. But you have a plan that you have to follow. And a lot of times what'll happen, traders will keep letting it run, thinking, they don't want to take their profit. They get greedy. And then what happens is that trade reverses. And then all their gains that they had sitting right there in front of them are gone because they did not follow their plan. The same thing is true. If the trade starts and it reverses on you, you're losing money and you hurry up and get out and you take that loss, and just a few candles later, it ricochets and runs to your target, you're going to miss out on a win. And that's where that emotional discipline comes into play, that having your plan and sticking to your plan is what's going to lead to success. And regardless of the circumstances or whatever's happening, that does not dictate what you're going to do in the trade. Your plan for your trade is set in advance. And that's where a lot of traders struggle and fail because they're not willing to stick to that plan and follow through with it. And those are your traders who lose money, period, point blank. So if you have discipline, if you are a hard worker, if you're willing to work your ass off, and if you have emotional composure, you can be a successful trader. And maybe those three terms define you and who you are. And if it does, I'm here to tell you that you can be successful in this game of trading. If not, just being straight up, candid, this is not for you. This will not be for you because the markets will chew you up and spit you out. It's just the truth. It's what it is. So there's no need to fear the markets. There's a ton of wealth to be made here. And again, a lot of people think that I just advocate for day trading. That's not true. I'm also a long-term investor, and you can do things that don't require as much time. Now, you still have to know what you're doing. You still have to study, that you could grow your wealth significantly on your own without the assistance of someone else, right? Because what you probably don't realize, working with a financial advisor, they're putting your money in these financial instruments, probably mutual funds, where you're paying a ton in commissions and fees, and they're not really generating a great return for you. And so why would you want to do that? Why not empower yourself? Learn how to do this, because again, it's not terribly complicated. Eliminate the need to pay somebody to manage your money and do it for yourself. A lot of times we give these important responsibilities that we should be managing on our own to others and have them do it. And we make the excuses, oh, well, I don't have time. Well, you don't have time to grow your wealth and to become wealthy? Wake up early in the morning, stay up late at night. What are you willing to sacrifice to do this? And I'm telling you, if you would just give yourself a chance to learn this, you would see the power, right? And there's one example that I wanted to share, and I posted it on Facebook last week, but there's a company, Super Micro Computers. On Friday of last week, this stock went up over $100 in one day. One day, a stock went up $100. Okay. If you would have had just one share, even like, hey, I'm going to buy one share of this, and let's say you bought it at $200. I think it went up to like $425 that day. But if you had bought one share the day before, you would have made over $100. If you would have had two shares, $200, 100 shares, start doing the math. There's no limit to this. 1,000 shares times $100, 10,000 shares times $100. And here's the thing. If you stick with this long enough, after 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, think of what you can do. There are millionaires and billionaires made every day in the markets. It happens. And it happens for those people who are willing to put the time in to work hard. And this is a passion of mine. I want people to know this, to learn this, and to do it. You don't have to do it full time, but there's so much power here that can transform your financial life that you gotta do it. And I'm gonna put up on the screen here. There it is. That's the move on Super Micro Computers. See that candle? Yeah, that's represents $100. $100 move, one candle. And here's the thing. There's opportunities like this every single day in the market, every day. There are more opportunities in trading and investing than you could ever take advantage of. There are. So do yourself a favor, learn it. At least give yourself the opportunity to learn this. And there are free courses out there to learn. You don't need to start by paying someone to do this. Learn for free. There's lots and lots of free education out there. And when you're ready to take that next step and get serious, that's when you need to have a coach. Then you can reach out to me if you really want to take that next step, right? But listen to me when I tell you this. I was a high school principal. I didn't know anything about the stock market other than, hey, I'm going to buy some shares and hold on to them long-term for my kids. I was a high school English teacher. I'm not a math guy. What I'm doing now and how my life has changed, I have a responsibility to share that with others. And I want to share that with you here today and let you know that the markets are powerful and they can transform your life. And that's what I got for you. So when people talk about, oh, be afraid of the markets, blah, 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 blah. No, you're not afraid. Don't be afraid of this stuff. You could do this. You can make it happen. You could be successful. And if it's something that you're interested in learning, reach out to me. I'd be glad to talk to you about everything that is possible through trading and investing. And let's make that happen. And that's going to do it. That is episode number 4 of the Traders Podcast here at Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Please drop a comment, like, share, subscribe, share with your family and friends. We'll be back next week with episode number 5. Please check out the flagship podcast I do with Mr. Edmond Fontana, my partner here at Courage Pays Better Than Fear. We have another episode coming later this week. Check that out. And hopefully I see you at the boot camp next week. But until then, make it an amazing day. Love you guys. Take care.